Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Eleni. I'm a first year dental student, and today I thought I would do a video on personal statements, the application process, and interview tips. I already did a video on interviews, but I thought I would just include some more in this video. I'll link down below my other video, but everything I talk about today is just going to be things that I did, things that I suggest to pre-dentals, but everyone's going to go through the process differently, so you don't have to do things that I say in this video or talk about in this video. These are just suggestions and things that I did in case you are confused or lost or need advice during this process. So let's get into it. Okay, so I actually have this folder saved from when I applied with all of my application materials. So that's, I guess, my first tip. Have a folder where you save everything. I also had one on my computer with everything saved. I did lose all of that in the process of getting a new laptop, so I still have everything in paper though, so I suggest you have both the folder with papers of your application stuff and then also on your computer. So the first thing that I have here is actually my personal statement. And so what is the personal statement? So the personal statement is going to go with your application process, and it's basically just going to be one page. This is my actual personal statement. It's just one page describing why you want to become a dentist, basically. So the personal statement is going to talk about why you want to become a dentist, how you became interested, kind of how your journey to this application process began. And I basically wrote about how when I was little, like, I never thought I would become a dentist. Both my parents are dentists, and I actually was like, I never want to become a dentist. And then in high school, I took a career planning class, and that kind of led me to dentistry. And so I talked about that in my application, in my personal statement. And then I also tied that in with an experience that I had related to dentistry, and talked about how I struggled giving a presentation to a bunch of kids on oral health. So I talked about those struggles and how I struggled in school, but then I thought about all of my experiences to get to this decision and how that's shaping me into, well, it's giving me this passion to go to dental school. And I talk about how that's going to help me with my schooling and like help me through classes, and just remembering previous experiences is going to help me continue on. So that's basically, if that made any sense, what I talked about in my personal statement. So I made sure to make it very descriptive, and I used a lot of adjectives and made it so that you could feel yourself in my shoes, and I think that's important. You want your personal statement to make you stand out, so don't make anything up, just write from your heart. Make sure that it's a real experience that you had, and that is basically all you want to do with your personal statement. Because you already know what the personal statement is going to be about, you want to write this like ahead of time. The application is going to open early June, but I think I began writing my personal statement like January. And basically what you're going to want to do is just brainstorm why you decided to become a dentist, and just write down like everything that comes to mind when you think of like why you want to be a dentist. And this will also help you too, because in your interview they'll probably ask you why you want to be a dentist. So if you already have this written down and you have it available to go back to, that's great, because you'll be able to reference why you wanted to become a dentist. So just like brainstorm at first like why you want to be a dentist, and then start shaping how you want to format your personal statement. And once you have it written, I think I had like so many people looking at my personal statement, so just keep asking people to read it over for you. And you don't want to have any like grammatical errors or spelling errors, because that will be like a red flag. You want to make sure that your writing is perfect. And yeah, as long as you just write from like yourself, from like personal experience about why you want to be a dentist, you should be fine with your personal statement. It shouldn't be that big of a deal. Obviously you want to write a really good personal statement, but this isn't going to be the only part of your application, so don't stress too much about it, and just start writing it early so you have plenty of time. And yeah, it's only one page, so it shouldn't even be that long. I remember I had to cut mine down by a lot because I just wanted to keep writing and writing, so it shouldn't be too long. I think that's basically all I have to say about the personal statement. Just write from your heart, and your personality and all of that should shine through, so it should be fine. So that's the personal statement. And next, for like the application process, I also have my resume in here. So this is my resume here, and it's just like a one page of like your education and some background experiences you have. So I have like when I shadowed, you're gonna put that into your experiences. If you ever like did research, you're gonna put that in. If you ever had a job, you're gonna put that in. Any volunteering experience you have, you're gonna put that into your resume. And then any activities that you've done, like clubs and stuff, you're also gonna put that into your resume. So you also know from advance that you're gonna have to put in a resume into your application process. So this is something also that you can do ahead of time before the application even opens. So I think I had mine done like way in advance from when the application opened. I also have my transcript in here. That's something good to have handy. A lot of people have been asking me what my GPA was, and my GPA wasn't that great. I had a 3.1 at the end of undergrad, and I think I became a stronger candidate because I retook my DAT, because I knew that my GPA wasn't that great, so I wanted to be more competitive, so I did take the DAT twice. I also have my scores in here, so that's something also good to keep in this folder. The first time I took the DAT, I did get a 19, which was fine, but I knew because my GPA was a little bit lower, I wanted to do even better on the DAT. So I took it a second time, and I got a 21. So that's also in here, my second DAT. So I have that all in here too. And then I also I went to a bunch of pre-dental days, and they give out a lot of information on the application process. So I have here, like, it says ADA Official Guide to Dental Schools. This was from 2015, so it's kind of old, but here it has all of the schools and their GPA ranges, their DAT ranges. I'm sure it's all like different now, and I'm sure you can find this, but this was something helpful that I had in my folder, and I kind of just like went through and like highlighted things. So having like lists of different schools and doing research on your schools is also very helpful. That way you can know what to aim for in your DAT, and you can see like if your GPA is lower, you know that you need to do better on your DAT. And then I also have in here a full, like, entire sample application, and I don't remember where I got this. I think I got it from like a pre-dental day somewhere. I did a couple of them, so I had all this information from all these different pre-dental days that I went to. So basically what I did with this was, before the application even started, I went through this sample and I started filling out like on a separate blank piece of like Microsoft or something, and I would go through and answer the questions, and some of them are like, describe some activities that you did. So like if you're in a club, they're gonna ask you to write like a blurb on like something about it. So like I would just go ahead and have my blurbs ready before the application even started. so that when it came time, I could just copy and paste it into the application. Also, another question on here is describe any activities requiring manual dexterity, activities requiring hand-eye coordination such as cross-stitching, sewing, arts and crafts, playing musical instruments, auto repair, at which you are proficient. So I was able to write this question ahead of time and think about what I would say for this before the application even opened. And so there's a bunch of different questions like that. And they ask you about your language. What else is here? You have to manually put in your transcript, so that's another reason why having your transcript available is very helpful. So as soon as you have your fall semester grades in, order your transcript so you have it ready for when the application does open, so you can just put in everything. And then you're also going to talk about, you're going to have to put in awards, honors, or scholarships you got, any of like the shadowing that you did. I don't know what the requirements are now, but I think for us it was like 70 hours or something. So that's something you can do like in the summer before you apply, or during the school year. And then you put in your extracurriculars, and then you just like write a brief description on everything. So that's like all stuff that I did ahead of time. And then what else is here? Oh, you're gonna have to get letters of recommendation, and so those you can start getting ahead of time as well. You're gonna want to ask your professors for letters starting way in advance. I don't even know, like maybe the fall or something. I do remember for us there was like a pre-dental meeting, and they gave us like a checklist. So this is what I still have it in this folder, and it's just like guidelines of like everything you have to do. And also we had a committee letter, so basically you get all of your letters of recommendation in and your personal statement, I think, in early, and you send it to your school, and then like a committee will review it, and they will either recommend you as an applicant or not. And I remember it was a big decision of like whether or not you wanted to send a committee letter. And I think if you have good grades, you do want to do a committee letter, because I remember it being like if you did have that committee letter, and if you were recommended, it looked really good on your application process. I don't know if all the schools do that or not, but if your school does have that, I do suggest it. I did it even though I didn't have like a strong GPA, but it's fine. It helped me get organized like way in advance as well, because you had to get everything in really early. And basically, like, I don't know if you can see this, but there's just like a checklist, and like I would go through and like highlight things and check things that I got done. So this was really helpful. So if your school has something like this, make sure that you do that. So that's something else I have in here. What else? I just basically printed out like all the receipts that I have, like for when I signed up for the DAT, I have like all those like important dates printed out and stuff. I have that all here. And then once I did my application, I did print it out, and I have it here so this is my entire application right here. And the reason I did this is because when you do go into your interview, they're gonna ask you questions, or they'll probably ask you questions about your application, like your extracurriculars and stuff. So you're gonna wanna know what you wrote down on your application. So that's why I printed mine out, because I was able to just easily go back and see what I wrote down, so that if they were to ask me something in the interview, I was able to just like remember what I wrote down. And I think the biggest thing for the application process is just like get it all done early and submit as soon as you can. I think I submitted like mid-July, or maybe even before July. Just like get it all done and get it out of the way, and like then you won't have to stress really about the application. You just be waiting for the interviews, which isn't that much better, but then you're not worrying about getting it in. So if you write your personal statement ahead of time, like know all your extra, like write down a list of all your extracurriculars and like all of your shadowing experiences. Like have a list of all of that already. Do your resume ahead of time, and that way when the application does open, like it's gonna be so much easier for you. And like start doing it as soon as it opens. Like don't wait. That's my biggest suggestion. And make sure like you're organized with everything. So keep everything in a folder, have it on your computer, and you'll be fine. It is a very stressful time, but you will get through it, I promise. And if this is something you really want to do, if you want to get into dental school, you will. Personal statement, you just write from your heart. And yeah, like I said, if you really want this, you will have it, you will get it. And I wish you guys luck in the application process. If you have any questions, let me know. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was informative. And I hope to see you guys in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.